Doug here from Bay Quinte Regional Marketing Board, and this week we explore the map on the inside cover of our Discovery Guide, which brings us right here to the National Air Force Museum of Canada in Quinte West, 77 degrees longitude, 44 degrees latitude, and as I come up onto the mezzanine, you see over my shoulder one of the crown jewels of this museum, the Handley Page Halifax. And they picked it up out of the bottom of a lake in Norway and they brought it over to Canada, and they took over 100,000 hours to restore it over a period of 10 years to bring it to what it is today. It's one of only two in the entire world that exist in a restored form. But today, we're actually here to talk about World War I and a brand new exhibit called Deadly Skies. And I see Josh Bambro, Public Relations for the National Air Force, next to him here.
Hey, Doug.
Thanks for being here, man.
Thank you for coming.
So, Deadly Skies, obviously very visual. Tell us about it.
Well, it's a graphic novel exhibit that was developed by the Canadian War Museum. It was on their display from January to June of last year, and we were privileged enough to get it. We just finished it last week. It is a graphic novel that depicts 6 individuals from both sides of the war, both military and civilian, and it gives you a first-person perspective of what those 6 individuals went through.
Josh was telling me about this really cool ring off camera.
Absolutely, yeah. So one of our displays here is Henrik Mavey. He was a Zeppelin commander during the war, and he was shot down over the skies of London. One of the things that we were privileged to have in our archives was a ring that was made out of the metal of the Zeppelin itself that crashed, and it was made into a ring, and we have it on display here.
It's right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a ring. Looks good.
Absolutely. No, it's one of the more interesting pieces that we have. But we also have some letters from Frank Moses as well. Frank Moses was a Canadian that fought in World War I. He was one of many people from the Six Nations group that fought in the war. Like many airmen, he started as a member of the trenches. He was in the front lines, and then he volunteered for the Air Service. We have his letters home, or one group of letters from home, and one of the things that are interesting about it, he wrote that letter, or was in the middle of writing that letter, the day before he died. Okay. The very next day, unfortunately, he did perish, and it was the very day that the RCAF was formed. So some could argue, or we're not 100% sure, but he could have been the first casualty of the RCAF. And we have his letters.
We were talking earlier, too, just about all of the history with respect to World War I that exists in Ontario, but also this region, Deseronto, Tunning-Rock territory.
Yes. Yeah, we have Camp Ratham, which is in Deseronto. We actually were there just this past Saturday to celebrate the 100th anniversary of that. And Camp Mohawk, which was also used in World War II as well. But yes, it's one of the original air training camps, yes.
And the interactivity piece is really cool. You know, you get here periodically, you got little things that you can pull out, read for more information. Obviously, there was a lot of care and prep put into this.
Oh, absolutely. The author did a very good job of depicting this for all ages. I think we all can agree that graphic novels are cool.
Sure.
Whether you be 37 or 4. It is honestly a good way to tell the story. It doesn't go into so much detail that would bore you, but it gives you the points, right? And it displays it in a very colorful way, and I know, I like it. It's one of my favorite displays.
Just exposed his age on camera.
There you go.
You have the graphic novels in your hands.
Yes, I do.
Tell us quickly about those.
So these are one example of a book that you can buy in our gift shop, actually. This is a fully illustrated version written by John Maker. And he made it into a book, so the whole display is in a book. There is actually more people in here than during our display, because there was originally 9 characters in this display at the Canadian War Museum. We only have 6. So yeah, it's one of your keepsakes that you can buy from our gift shop and take home and take the display home with you.
Okay, and if you share this post, we're going to give away 2 of these books, plus 2 general admissions to the National Air Force Museum so you can see the exhibit.
Awesome.
Obviously, you're going to come see that, and when you're done, you go to the What's On section of our Bay Quinte Tourism website. Check it out. Lots of events going on, especially this weekend for Father's Day. Lots of music. I've got the Carpe Diem String Ensemble at Parrot Gallery, Respect Fest at Frankfurt Tours Park, Trenton's DBIA Fraser Park concert series, all sorts of stuff going on. So head on over to the Bay of Quinte Tourism site, and when you're there, go to bayofquinte.ca/discovery guide, download the digital copy of this thing to explore. We'll see you next week on location for a new Facebook Live video. Thanks, folks. See you later.